Hey y'all, it's Johnny. I'm in Pensacola, Florida. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Last night or yesterday, late afternoon, the duster that had been running like 160 temperature the whole way from Maryland all through Power Tour last night started spiking up to about 200, and I had to start running the heat to help get the temperature back down, and it didn't want to come back down. What I think is going on is I put a brand new thermostat in it the day before we left. I think it's actually stuck open, not stuck closed, because we haven't boiled over. Radiator's still completely full. You see that in there. See here. Trust me, it's full. We're not leaking anything, haven't boiled anything over, but we're having a hard time, even in like 70-degree temps last night, keeping it under, keeping around 200. So I'm gonna replace the thermostat, make sure I'm putting another 160 in it, but my guess is stuck open. It's not spending enough time in the radiator itself to cool down. So I might set up a camera here and see if I can knock this out, see if it runs better. We're driving to Atlanta today for the last day of Power Tour. I had to go to the Advanced and get a little better tool set than what I brought, and a gasket. I couldn't find any of the gaskets that I brought. I know I bought like 2 or 3, couldn't find them. I'll show you why probably. That's why I can't find anything. The lady parked next to me in this nice Challenger is laughing at me. Alright, I'm gonna set up a camera, see how this goes. Wondering, this is a 198 slant 6, and it's got a 9/16 bolt, 2 9/16 bolt holding on the thermostat housing. I'm going to only lose whatever fluid is between basically right here and right here, and that just is what it is. There it goes. I actually got an electric fan too, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fit that in there or not. But I did buy one in case I need it to jerry rig something. There she blows. You don't want to help? I'm just kidding. Overheating a little bit. Yeah. But we did good. All the way down from Maryland.
Did you know that you're dripping a bunch of coolant on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly water, but yeah. Ugh. How are y'all doing?
We're doing okay.
Good.
Just brought spare parts with you?
Yep. When you're driving a 50-year-old car, you gotta bring spare parts.
It's very intelligent. I wouldn't have thought of it.
Well, when you drive from Maryland, you really gotta
Yeah.
be prepared.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Have a good day, y'all.
You as well.
Everything looks good. Would have put the old one.
I saw you taking a video earlier. Did you want me to take a picture of you fixing your car?
No, I'm shooting a video right now.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Y'all need a hand with anything?
I think I'm okay. It was just running a little warm last night, which is weird. We drove all in from Maryland, all power door, running 160, no problem. And then last night,
Oh.
200, 200 plus, I turned the heat on.
Oh, dang.
I think that stuck open, not closed. It wasn't spinning.
Yeah, 'cause you
But
got
I didn't boil
plenty of
over.
radiator.
I didn't boil over. I got new everything. This was replaced the day I left.
Okay.
I just wanted fresh everything. But I think that stuck open.
That's no good.
So I got a 160 and putting in another one here. But we're gonna see what. I got an electric fan too. I think I can shove one in there if I really need to. But I hope not.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, give a shout if you need anything.
Yeah, I'm hopefully be done here in 10 minutes. I don't like how this can float around in this hall and that it doesn't snap into a groove in the housing either. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Really? I'll try to show you all this. This is original housing. It's got a little groove here to kind of hold this capture into place, but it doesn't want to stay there at all. I wonder if when I put this on before I left, if it sunk down at all. Not sure what I could or can do about that. know that I do know that's the incorrect way. I'm just wondering if it fits in there better, and it doesn't. Well, strange. Well, we're gonna go with it. Fun fact is, I asked for a 160 before we left. I thought I installed a 160. I'm pretty sure the box said 160. And can you all see that? Can you all see? It says 82C 180 Fahrenheit, not a 160. Now these cars want from the factory a 195, I believe. But that's just too hot in hot temperatures of what I found. So I usually try to run a 180 in the winter in a slant and like a 160 in the summer, knowing it's not actually going to run 160, but try to get it flowing a little sooner than a 195 would. It doesn't look bad or broke. I mean, it's only 5 days old, but it definitely... something changed yesterday, and I think it was this. We'll see how today goes. I'm trying to replace the thermostat here, but he was just checking on me. Figured I'd check on you. This is distilled water from the grocery store. Not that I care all that much, but since we pre-planned, I brought 3 jugs of this size. started, make sure I don't have any leaks. I'm gonna put the cap on, let it build a little bit of pressure. I want to make sure I'm not low, so there's some air bubbles because that drain that top side of the motor. My marker lens, someone told me at the show, looked like it was falling out, and when I touched it, it fell out. So I'm trying to sticky tape it back in, considering the tabs are broken. I'm not too worried about it. Stick that all, don't make it to Maryland like that. in 95, 96 degree heat. Probably not. It's fine, I have to buy a new one anyway. Car's filthy. It's done us pretty good. We've had no issues, knock on wood. We've been very blessed. But I haven't washed it or wiped it down once. It's just been so hot. It's kind of crazy out here, and packed up pretty heavy. Electric fan bought. I'm wondering if it'll fit down in there somehow. Don't know. See, there's two brand new hoses. The radiator, that's from last summer. Water pump, new belt. That's warming up. Some of you have seen it, but we have the factory exhaust manifold, factory intake manifold on this car. But right where it goes down, you can really see it there. Rusty old metal, new metal. Right where that new metal is welded on. I had a muffler shop put a Y on it, split it, and then put two glass packs up towards the front of the car and run dual pipes out the back. But it sounds okay. It's not super loud, but it's got a little rumble to it. And when we're going 65, 70 miles an hour, it just has this droniness to it. It's kind of annoying. Doesn't sound good when you're going that fast. Let's start to settle down. That's foaming. Don't know if that's good. We ran like this temperature between like 140 and 160 all the way to Pensacola, and then as soon as we got in line at Power Tour, it spiked to 200, maybe just over 200, and then I turned on the heat, ran it full blast so I could keep it under 200. So I never went into the red, I'd say, all the way to the right there on that one last line before it says 250. So I don't believe I overheated at all. I think I watched the temperature gauge more than I watched the speedo. But the only thing I could think of is it got stuck open, passing through the radiator too quickly, not getting rid of the heat. So I hope a new stat, also a new stat being 160, I'm hoping will help. We'll let you guys know if we're on the side of the road. So we switched gears a little bit. I found that this fan I got is already set up to be a push fan, which is what I want. I have space on the front of the radiator to push back towards the back. And it looks like it's a lot smaller than I had expected, so it should fit right in there. I'm going to try and wire it up. It can't hurt. If it hurts, if it does hurt, I'll rip it out. So, put in this electric fan. It fit in there all right. This here. Fit in there really good. I wired it the way it said outside of the car to make sure it actually worked. It seems to move a lot of air, way more air than I had thought. The hardest part is reaching up down in between that area, which my paws don't want to go, or reaching up from the bottom to shove these little clicker, almost like a zip tie rod, to hold it in place. So I've been fighting that for 30 minutes, trying to get one in. I got one in, so now I got 3 more to go. Well, it's been about an hour. Went ahead and replaced that thermostat we talked about already, and filled it with water, not worried about antifreeze. Went ahead and installed this electric fan that I kind of thought was going to be harder than it was. The fan went right in between the grill. The fan was already pre-wired and set up for a push fan, which is what I want. I had to reach up through this gap to do it, and really the hardest part was those little studs, and then I went ahead and wired it to this mess of wiring I got here. Don't judge. I wired it into the ground and my marking light, so when I pull my clicker headlight switch out one click, it turns on these lights, and then it'll also turn on the fan, and it's working. So we're gonna see how today goes. We're driving to Atlanta in about 15 minutes. We'll see y'all there. Well, internet friends, new thermostat, the 160 stat. We get an hour up the road, we start to approach and cross over 200, and look at this. We're over 200, and that thermostat will not open. We're not quite boiling over, because I pulled over quick enough, but look at that. Ballooned up, not a drop of water flowing through that thing, and it should be. The other one was stuck open, was flowing too much, I thought, and now this one is not flowing anything. So I'm going to replace this real fast, and or try and run it an hour without any fluid. Let's see how it goes. Almost looks like we have a little dribble coming through the bolt too. See that? pencils in there. All right, here we go. Hey y'all, it's Johnny, Gray's Garage. We're on the last day of power tour and we're having overheating problems. You probably see from my other videos. We pulled out the stat, put in a new stat, ran with a higher stat, lower stat, didn't help. We installed an electric fan this morning at 6 o'clock this morning, and we're still riding 200 to 220 at moments, even with electric fan doing 55, 60 miles an hour on the highway. So we're gonna do a water pump. I brought one with me. It's the last part we have as a spare. I think that new water pump that might be 3 weeks, a month old, I think it's just freewheeling because I don't think anything's flowing or not flowing enough. So maybe it's clogged with trash. We did do a system flush last week before we left. Maybe it stirred up a bunch of junk and it's stuck in the water pump. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. I'll take some footage of it and let y'all know. All right, so I'm here trying to change this out. The pressure relieved itself, but it's still hot as you know what. Struggling to get a couple bolts out with the limited wrenches I have, but we're getting it. I have a new one sitting over there and it looks to be correct. So thank you so much, Napa Auto Parts. People are salty here at the Love. People are a little salty here at the Love. They got the old one out. And a traveling car mechanic, like a big rig mechanic, happened to pop in, and he let me have a razor blade so I could scrape the old gasket off because I had nothing. I didn't even have a pocket knife with me, shocking, to get it clean. So, you know, he has a whole truck full of tools and all I needed was a scraper. I tried to pay him for helping me and hanging out with some money and some beer, but he said no, it's just, he just wanted to help. So thank him a lot. I'm gonna try to share his Instagram when I'm back home. But here's to putting it back together. It took about an hour and a half. We got the new water pump in. Replaced a couple hose clamps that were a little sketchy. I had one factory original one. And I didn't have a new one that size, so we're back running. It's flowing really good. I think we're good to go. We're gonna go get on the highway and try it out. Wish us luck. Hello, Instagram friends and fans and haters too. It's fine. I'm near Atlanta Raceway, where power tours last. Well, Saturday morning, it's like 11:30. Found a U-Haul place an hour north of Sonoya, Georgia, who had a U-Haul truck and a car hauler trailer. So I was able to rent that. I Ubered there, rented that, drove back. Now I'm back at Crooks Tire and Automotive to pick up my car. They let me leave it here, so super awesome of them to let me do that. I'm covering it and we're gonna drive it up on the trailer here in just a minute, because it does drive, it does start. It's just radiators completely clogged. And power tour. I've got so many things to say and so many things I learned what not to do. And I was as prepared for this trip as I thought I could. I actually have a radiator at home, but I couldn't fit it in the trunk. So I had every extra part with me that could possibly kind of go bad in this car, in the trunk, other than a radiator. So it sucks, but it is what it is. All right, I'm gonna load this up now. Ta-da! Hey y'all, I'm somewhere in Southern Virginia on my way home from Atlanta area, filling up this U-Haul thing again, getting some coffee, and gonna just keep on driving until I get home. I think I got 3.5 or 4 more hours. The car is just trash. I washed it the day before I left, and I haven't washed it or even wiped it down. Man, I look terrible. It's filthy. The radiator mud is everywhere, if you can see it. I gotta really get in there and wash this thing good. Hood and the windshield covered in bugs, but we're making it home. It's a little sketchy driving, but just going slow. The U-Haul only goes like 55, 60 downhill, so it's taking a lot longer than GPS suggested it would take. I think it's going to be like 12 hours. Well, we'll let you know when we're home. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, looks like it. Not that much. You almost. What, you mean your tire or the car itself?
I don't want to hit the car against the...
Oh yeah, it's very high off the brick.
Okay.
The back is very high. You're not gonna hit it.
Am I off the ramp?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.